morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance, pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Sunday, the 21st of February. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 56,104 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 57,158. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 57,000 levels. However, so barring an extended rally on day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's new swing high 47,485 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin test resistance at 60,000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 58,539. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 54,723 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should steer clear of the second major support level sitting at 53,669. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a widening of the bearish histograms this morning after yesterday's failed bullish cross, suggestive of some downside ahead. So need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, the 50 has moved away marginally from the 100 and the 200, however, so that's not signaling a bearish morning. So need to keep an eye on the MACDs and the moving averages. So keep through the early part of the day, move back through the pivot at 56,104 and break back through to 57,000 levels to take a run at the resistance levels. Failures to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's a relatively positive start to the day after an early pullback. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot 1923 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 2034. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 2,000 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's new swing high at 2041.42 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ethereum test resistance at 2200 before any pullback. The second major resistance level sits at 2153. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1804 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 1800 levels. Second major support level sits at 1693. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, suggestive of some downside ahead. On the EMA, the 50 has closed in on the 100 and the 200, also a bearish signal. So keep through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 1923 and break back through to 2000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels are in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, positive start after an early pullback. Going to need to see Litecoin move through the pivot at 230 to take a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 244. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 240 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's new swing high at 247 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, we've got the second major resistance level at 261 and resistance at 270 to pin Litecoin back. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 213 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should steer well clear of sub 200s. Second major support level sits at 199. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight narrowing of the bearish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bullish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMA, the 50 did narrow in on the 100 and the 200, also a bearish signal, but no signs of a bearish cross. So keep through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 230 and break back through to 240 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, it's a positive start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.5088 to break through the 23.6% fib at 0.5320 and to take a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 0.5865. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from 0.55 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 0.58285 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, we've got the second major resistance level at 0.6606 to cap any upside. A fallback through the pivot, we bring the 38.2% fib at 0.4632 and the first major support level at 0.4347 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should still well clear sub 0.40 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.3569. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bearish histogram, but nothing suggestive of a bullish morning ahead. On the EMAs, we had the bearish cross late yesterday, with the 50 pulling back from the 100 and closing in on the 200. That's also a bearish signal. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.5088 to break through the 23.6% fib at 0.5320 to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, you've got the 38.2% fib and support levels in play.